Yes, thank you. I'm Tanner. I've also been at school from kindergarten to 12th grade with Jessica. It's been great getting to grow up with everybody at CSAS, and that's one of the great things about it is how we have that bond and are able to stay with each other from kindergarten to 12th grade in the same school. So you really get a bond with the kids and the teachers, and it's something great to be able to see them as you grow up. You can come back, just walk downstairs to go see your teachers from elementary that were there from the start. And I'm also a big baseball player at CSAS. That's one of my main hobbies, and I hope to possibly go to University of Tennessee at Knoxville and looking in to be a physical therapist.
Good for you, Tanner. Welcome to the show. Well spoken, buddy. Once again, if you'd love to call in, if you're an alum of CSAS, a teacher, a student, a parent, we'd love to hear from you. It's called Be True to Your School. It's 267-1023. That is the number to call. Let's talk about the CSAS community. You are in school. You are all seniors. But if you walk down another hallway, you'll see kindergarten students. What is this community feeling like? What is the popularity of a school like CSAS? Why, in the past, did people camp out to get into school? What is it about CSAS? What is happening inside that school?
Well, CSAS is, like I said, being able to be there from kindergarten to 12th grade, it's something you have a lot of leaders to look up to. So you're not in just an elementary school where it's all elementary kids. You have those middle school kids to look up to, people that are setting examples for the younger kids. And then the middle schoolers are also there, and they are looking up to the high schoolers to set examples for them.
Yeah, I agree with Tanner. One thing I remember going down the halls in kindergarten was once we would be on the first floor, and then we would go all the way up to the third floor to get to foreign language. And I remember seeing all of the big kids, and everybody was like, they looked like they were 8 feet tall, and I was like 2 feet or something like that. And just looking up at them and like, man, I can't wait to be up there. And in first grade, we used to always sing songs about getting to the next grade and getting to 5th grade. And now we're seniors. It's just looking back and then being able to talk to our first grade teachers and our kindergarten teachers. It's just so crazy. It went by so fast, seems like.
Yeah, the teachers at CSAS, they're really helpful. And if you ever need something, you can just go to them and you don't feel shy about it. You don't feel like it's so hard to do. You can just go and talk to them and they'll help you. They're always ready to help you. They're just there for you. And so one thing about CSAS that I really like are just the community that we have. They're ready for you to do anything. If you have an idea, they'll be behind you to support it.
You are all leaving. This is going to be a huge step in your life. What would you change at CSAS? You've been there for so long. What's one thing you would change?
I think as far as, I don't know, I mean, I would just continue to...
There's got to be something. What do you think, Tanner?
Well, I think the main thing, we have the education, the teachers, none about that I would change. Maybe facility-wise, obviously, you see where we are as our school, old historic building, which I love, but there's always some things that can be brought up to date, some new technology, things like that I really think would just kind of help advance our school and advance the learning. But as far as what we have going on as education and faculty, we have the best people there are.
Yeah, to piggyback off of Tanner, I definitely agree. Technology is one of those things that as a school we struggle with oftentimes, just because, I mean, we have so many students and not having enough technology oftentimes can hinder what we do or experience. But like Tanner said, I mean, I still wouldn't change the atmosphere of our school as far as the learning.
You mentioned great faculty. We've got a history teacher here, Chris Hendricks, who came with y'all. That's first class in itself. What is it about teachers like Chris Hendricks that sets them apart? What is a good teacher?
I mean, a teacher that cares, because honestly, just talking to students from other schools, they just tell us about, I mean, you know, every school is different, every school has something, but, you know, the one thing I notice about our teachers is that they truly do care, and they truly do want us to succeed, and we're not just a number, they're not just getting grades, they're not teaching for us to take a test, they're teaching for us to truly learn and to grow as students and citizens.
I think that being a senior, it's like got me thinking about college and stuff that's coming ahead of me. So the teachers have really prepared me for that. I don't feel scared. I don't feel nervous about that. I'm just like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, college is here, let's go. So they've really prepared me for the world to come in the future.
You know what? Every day I get to work with one of the nicest guys in the world. He is the weather person at Channel 3, and we do a great morning show together with Latrice Curry. This has got to be David Carnes. Hey, buddy. How are you, Dave?
Doing good, man. Yes, loving the show, and I always love when I'm hearing positive, I would say young adults just talking with clarity about their future and about their school experience. I think it's a cool thing. My question is, and I'll hang up and listen, but just wanted to throw out to all three of the students there, just talk about just kind of your family, because it sounds like you guys probably have some family support going on too, and I know that's important when you're trying to get an education. Talk about your family experience and how it relates to your education.
What a great question, David. Thanks so much, buddy, and have a great weekend, and means a lot that you called. Okay, what about family support? What a good question.
Definitely. From the time my mom and my parents kept out to now, my mom is always, and my dad, all my family really has really been supportive as far as school. School's been a very, I can't speak. My school has been a big part in my household, and the one thing that I can say is because of the community at CSAS, not only do we grow up with the students and stuff like that, the parents grow up together. I mean, you know, they go through everything together,
sure,
and they experience the grades and stuff like that. I mean, I have two sisters that go to CSAS, so it's always fun to be able to revisit the other grades, and my mom having to redo 8th grade, redo 6th grade, and stuff like that. And it's just, it's always fun because the parents, they learn together. Because my mom's been there for a long time, she's able to, you know, kind of go back and help other parents who are just coming up, because I know that with the different experiences, we all grow together.
Jessica, that is so well said. And you know what? You brought up a great point, because I can see when my daughter was a senior in high school, and you look at the families that you have grown up with, and the trials and tribulations, and now for the first time, a lot of these parents are going through applying to colleges, getting the applications in. So you are so right. These are steps in life, and every parent, it seems that they all get along. They're all working together to accomplish these goals. Jessica, that was well said. What about you, Tanner?
My family, like really how my household goes, it reflects how CSAS also works kind of as a family, where my parents, they've always, ever since I've been young, pushing me to do the best I can, make sure I stay on my homework, what I need to do, where that's the same atmosphere at CSAS. It's, those teachers are doing the same thing for you. They care for you and have a bond with you. They want to get to know you personally. And there's not many schools that your teachers have your parents on their phone number just like that, where they can dial them up. They've made jokes with me, and Tanner, I'll call your mom up just like that, and they actually have her number right there on their phone. It's
Tanner, I think if I went to school, you'd be my friend, buddy. I really, really am impressed with you, Tanner. I mean, I think a college campus is going to be so fortunate to have you. What about you, Rich?
Well, ever since I was a little kid, my parents have always wanted me to succeed. So anything that I wanted to do, like let's say I wanted to play tennis, they would help me, they would get me lessons, and they would just be ready to, you know, give me what I needed. And especially at school, they always push me to do my best, and they're like, we want you to be the best person you can be.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think, I mean, have you learned to realize that maybe I can't do everything I've always wanted to do in life like my parents have said of me? I mean, I think as a parent, you know, I said that to my daughter, you can do whatever you want to do. No, you really can't. I mean, the older you get, do you realize that...
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, I notice, just right now in classes that I noticed that, you know, I've always wanted to make all A's and, you know, do everything. And I'm learning as I mature and with advice from adults and my parents that, you know, you can't do every single thing. You can't do everything well, because you're not meant to do everything. I mean, you know, there are some things that you're going to be really good at, and there's some things that you're going to struggle with. And so I've learned that, and I've embraced it, and I'm happy to experience it now, because, you know, going into college and being on my own, if I were to experience it then, it'd be a little bit more.
Jessica, you are so far beyond your years. Incredible young woman. All right, so we were talking just about 30 minutes ago, and the name Jim Bowles came up.
Yeah.
And y'all went absolutely, it was like a rock star. This is a principle that these young people are talking about here. And Jim Bowles, it sounds like you're the best thing to ever happen in that school. Sir, congratulations, because you had 3 students here that were singing your praises. These are seniors. I've never heard anything like that before. How you doing, Mr. Bowles?
Hey, good evening. I hate to say it, I missed that part.
Well,
I came in about 7 minutes late.
No, Jim. No, Jim. This was when we were just talking to each other, like around 6:45 this afternoon before the show, and they were talking about how great the changes are at the school and what you have brought to that campus.
Well, there's three incredible individuals right there as well, and I'm one of the luckiest people in this town to work with students like them and with the faculty like I heard them speaking of. It's just counting blessings every day.
What's it like to be a principal for these type of students who are so just empowered, especially by things like community service? I mean, that is one of the biggest things going at CSAS is your need to teach these young people to get active in the community.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a blessing. You know, we're in no way perfect. You know, I don't want to ever create that kind of image, but when you have students like the three of these folks who are here, and there's plenty more where they came from, it just makes the day incredible. You know, we teachers and educators in general, we just, our bonus checks are seeing our students be successful, seeing them go out and win these competitions and things that they're involved in, coming back and telling us how successful they've been in college, or seeing the job that they have landed. And what's amazing is to hear the stories about how they were so well prepared, and we keep hearing that from alumni as well.
You know, we've got one of your teachers here, Chris Hendricks, and I just think that's so great that he decided to spend his Friday evening with these kids, brought them to the station, and you know, I mean, it just seems that it's so tough to be a teacher these days. And I was reading an article that says sometimes the morale is just so low these days among teachers with just so much put on them. But I guess that doesn't show in the classroom, it seems, listening to these young people.
Yeah, that's so true, Jed. You know, with all the things that are being thrown at educators right now, with testing and accountability, and not that we don't need some of those things, but then you get a punch in the stomach where, you know, with insurance and things like that, where star teachers are now making less money than they did the year before. So those things are all tough blows, but you're right, the professionalism comes out, and they don't let that affect what's happening in the classroom.
Well, y'all have always been a star on this show, Be True to Your School. Margaret Smith started it rolling several years ago, and Laura Lewis was unbelievable. That woman will respond back to you within 4 minutes of an email, which is something I've never seen before. Mr. Bowles, I would love to say hello to you in person one day, and you've got Jessica, Ruchi, and Tanner, and keep listening, sir, because this is all what CSAS is all about.
Hey, let me throw a question out before I go.
I'd love to hear it.
You know, these three individuals in particular, they're doing so many different things in their lives. I mean, school is just a part of their day. I mean, from being athletic stars to art contest winners to science fair winners and Model UN, and they run the gamut of extracurricular activities and going beyond, and not to mention the community service. So my question to them is, how do you do it, and what advice would you give to other students to be able to balance that act? So I'm going to hang up and listen to the comments.
Mr. Bowles, all the best to you. That's, again, the principal of Chattanooga School for the Arts and Sciences. Okay, Tanner, good question from the principal.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, you know, you can't balance everything. So one of the most important things for me at CSAS was when you're younger, it's great to go ahead and try everything out. You know, you can start with something for a week, like middle school, times like that. Just give everything a try, everything you want to, and then you have to really determine what you love, what you want to stick with, what you have a passion about. And then you have to really work on time management, which is really key at CSAS, and it's a great thing that the teachers really help us with there. Setting out deadlines and things like that, and that's what I think is really going to set us apart from other schools, because of everything that we have and all the different things that we're a part of is going to help us with that time management when it comes to college and when it comes to the real world. So you just have to figure out what you love and then go with that and manage your time from there on.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. like right now, even I still try new things out every now and then. Like right now, me and my friends. That's another thing that at CSA is that there's a lot of good peer pressure to do awesome different clubs, organizations, and such. And so this year, I took up a new organization, and it's pretty interesting. And
What is it?
ACE.
Wow, what do you do?
Well,
It's like engineering, like people have an interest in that. and,
Really?
yeah, we, like make a blueprint and stuff like that for places in Chattanooga.
Very cool.
yeah. And so I like to expose myself to a lot of new and different things around Chattanooga, like the digital connectors program that we had. That was really cool, just because we don't really have that much technology. It's just great to expose myself. And so, like Tanner said, you can't do everything, and I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
But
How about you, Rich?
yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of clubs sometimes, and they can get hard, but I always have to remember that school comes first. So I always have to make sure that I get all my work done. But time management is something that really helps me accomplish those goals.
Listen, we've got so many more questions to go in our salute school of the day. Chattanooga School for the Arts and Sciences. When we come back, we're going to talk to teacher Chris Hendricks. Okay, who wanted September, Earth, Wind, and Fire? That was you.
Yeah.
That's good. Listen, we deliver. Once again, folks, a huge thank you to the sponsors. You're going to hear from them in a moment. It's called Be True to Your School, folks. It is September, and this is a really good show.
Do you remember when it was September? Love was changing its mind tonight.
It's worth talking about. It's great to have you listening to another edition of Be True to Your School. And tonight on this Friday, it is the 12th of September. Our salute school is CSAS. G11, they wanted a little bit of Eagles. I mean, come on, this is good.
There's talk on the street.
No chance these kids are new in this town. They've been there a long time. They are seniors. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Here we go. This year, we have a great opportunity to ask our students some questions about going to college next year. It's a segment sponsored by the great folks at Lee University in Cleveland. A school, by the way, that has been voted best of the best nationwide, and a university that was recently named the most affordable Christian college in the nation. They always have a question each night, and here it is. If you could produce, this is a great one, if you could produce your own reality show, what would it be about? Or what would be the title and the premise? What do you think, Tanner? A reality TV show. It's all yours, buddy. It's going to make millions. What would it be about?
Well, from my house and how crazy things that my mom says that me and my brother do, I'd have to, something about the two dumb brothers and all the things that we're doing and messing around with, how much we're getting in trouble and just having a good time with each other, and just something about how,
You
how
just
we
call it Brothers.
Oh yeah.
It's great. All right, we got a title for it. Next reality TV show is Brothers. Okay, Richie, what you got?
I think that I would have my own reality TV show on a life of a high schooler. And I would just say that because, like, we live a hard life. It's not that easy. It has a lot of stuff in it.
I agree, especially with social media these days.
Yes.
I would be distraught. So that would be, I don't know how you do it. So just life of a teenager, it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Jessica, I know you're going to come up with a great one.
I
Jessica, it's always Jessica's like a lot of thought, and then she talks. All right, go.
I definitely think that we should do one about maybe a particular drive-through restaurant, fast food. Because there's always things going on. I have friends who work in that industry, and they tell me all kinds of crazy stories, and I think it'd be entertaining to watch on TV.
Very interesting. A reality TV show on a drive-through. Just life in a drive-through. Okay, what a great question from the folks at Lee University. I want to bring on Chris Hendricks. He is the American history teacher. All the kids just, I know you can't see it, but he just gave a thumbs up to this guy. Mr. Hendricks, I think I said this at the beginning of the show. If I had you as a teacher, I think you may have influenced me to be a teacher. But you know what? I just turned 54, and I started reading history at the age of 50. I think I missed a lot in life.
Yeah.
So I hope you're just stressing to these young people the importance of just picking up a book.
Yeah, definitely. I make them read The Jungle by Upton Sinclair in class, and so I'm forcing them to throw into a deep novel right off the bat. So,
What is it about these students, and what is it about you as a teacher that the relationship that you have?
Well, I think it's the understanding that you can't expect somebody to do the best and learn if you don't get to know them and know what ticks you. They may come in and have a bad day, and tomorrow's a new day, and you got to figure out, well, what's going on? Why are you having a bad day? What can we do tomorrow to fix that? And they got to trust you, and you got to trust them. I think that's the main thing.
How do you stay, one of the hardest jobs, how do you stay, like, people ask me at 5 o'clock in the morning how I'm always up all the time. And, you know, you don't want to disappoint your viewers.
Right.
You don't want to disappoint your students.
I think it for a lot of us, especially the people I'm around every day, it's our calling. It's what we do. I mean, that's what we're called to do. And you want to do your best, and you get your energy from those kids and what they do and what they say and how they react. A lot of times what you're talking about in class. So.
How tough is it in 2014, any different from several years ago when a different child was in your class?
Kids are kids, no matter what, 2014 or 2004, 1994, kids are still kids. They want to learn, and they still have that same desire, that same passion to hear things and to do things. So kids are kids.
What sets these kids apart? Why do we lose kids in 9th or 10th grade when they just give up? What happens?
I think that a lot of times that there's nobody there to encourage them to say, you can do this, you can succeed, there is a future, and I'm going to help you get there. I think it's that's part of that, getting to know kids, building those relationships that you don't with those kids that fail, and you know them well enough that you can kick them in the pants sometimes or give them a hug and congratulate them. I mean, it's from everything from A to Z with them.
Yeah.
So.
Best part of American history is what to you?
Gosh, 30s and 40s. Depression and World War II. It's my favorite era. So.
I just want to thank you, and I hope your family's listening.
They are. I hope, and I brought my daughter with me.
She's beautiful, and she's in 4th grade. I can't get her to talk, but
she is. She takes after her mom. Thank goodness on her look. So.
Hey, tomorrow you are going down to the amphibious vehicle down in Ross's Landing. You are actually bringing a 91-year-old World War II veteran to see that.
Yeah, Mr. Paul George. He's a Iwo Jima veteran. Was on an LST in the Coast Guard at Iwo Jima, and we're going to take him down there and let him revisit some memories. So it's going to be really cool. The whole family's going down there. We're going to have a great time with it.
Chris, I just met you. You've made an impact. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
So nice to have you.
I got to give a shout out to my Third West Goonies. They know who they are. So
these are kids at school.
No, these are teachers.
Oh, these are teachers.
The Third West Goonies. The Third West, we're a whole new animal.
Is that why we're playing Whitney Houston?
That is exactly why we're playing. We just sang it in the hallway day before yesterday. We are losing one of our librarian is moving to Chicago, and so we sang it in her honor yesterday.
Okay, listen, we're gonna play that coming up.
Gotcha, rock and roll.
All right, Chris, all the best to you.
Appreciate it, thanks, sir.
All right, once again, teacher Chris Hendricks, who came with the students tonight. All right, guys, y'all ready for this? Here we go. If you could spend $100 today, not buying anything, just spending it on food, entertainment, what would you spend it on? $100. What would you buy? I mean, come on, just have fun with it. Tanner, what would you buy, buddy?
That's a hard one. I'd have to say that I'd have to go with a new pair of shoes.
Really?
I have a big thing for shoes, and that's one of my things that I've always enjoyed and liked collecting. And $100 just right there is kind of hard to pass up those new Nikes that are sitting in the window of the mall as you walk by. So if I just had that sit in my pocket, well, there you go.
New pair of shoes, fantastic. All right, Jessica, what you got? $100 right now. Here it is. Take it.
I would totally throw an ice cream party. I'm an ice cream fanatic. I love ice cream. I would take all of my friends and my sisters and my mom, whoever else wants to come. That's $100. I could go far with
That would be a great ice cream party. All right, Ruchi, what you got? $100. Here it is. What you gonna spend it on?
Well, I've lived in Chattanooga for a really long time, and I haven't seen everything. So I would really go and visit like the aquarium and stuff like that, and just take like a little trip around Chattanooga and all that area.
Okay, what would you do differently if you knew that nobody would judge you right now? What would you do differently? If you wouldn't care what anybody said, Ruchi, what would you do? Jessica, Tanner?
I'd say how I dress. That's a lot of big thing now. People are on how they dress. I think I just go however I felt, no matter where I was, where I was at.
Wouldn't it?
Flip flops, tank top, crazy hat, hair, wherever it wants to be. Whatever's easiest for me, just how I dress.
Jessica?
That's such a good question.
It is.
Oh man, I've been getting to know myself, and a lot of times this year I've noticed myself just kind of letting go about people. But I guess one thing I would do. That's so hard.
Ruchi, help out. Come on.
Yes, Ruchi,
What would you do?
I don't know. There's so many things. Like dressing is definitely one thing. Because like maybe if you wore like a shirt wrong, someone would judge you. So dressing, I totally agree with Tanner. Something else.
Well, one thing right now that I'm starting to do more that, and I can't remember people think is really looking into the biology field, because a lot of people that know me know that art has been a lot in my life. I've done a lot of competitions, different things like that, and so, for me to say something like biology, which is, still a great career to go down, it's such a different field for me, and it's something that I've never.
So just looking at how life formed,
Right.
questions about that?
Yeah, that type of thing, and doing research in the lab and things like that. Because after taking anatomy last year with another awesome teacher, Ms. Cho, she really, really inspired me to want to pursue that career.
Guess who's on the phone?
Who?
Margaret.
Oh,
Yay.
She retired. Is this Margaret Smith?
It is.
Margaret.
It is, Jeff.
Margaret, I miss you. By the way, I don't have your email address. You've got to email me again. Somehow it is gone. But listen, you have been a wonderful friend of mine. You were at CSAS for years as their counselor. It's nice to have you here. And they sent me some great ones this year. I've got Jessica, Richie, and
We have
Tanner.
many great ones as well. And first thing I'd like to do is give a shout out to Chris Hendricks, because I understand he announced at our reunion recently that I was the dearly departed Margaret Smith, which then he tells people not to tell me that he said that. But, thanks, Chris.
He is very
I'm
funny.
still alive.
And he is right here. Hey, Margaret, once again, you always call, and Chris is right behind me here, and we just love having you call in. Give him a question, Margaret, that'll make him think.
Okay. There are two questions, and I'm torn between them. What was the best part of the junior college trip, and what did it teach you? Or you could answer, what is your focus of your senior project? And I'm going to hang up and listen to their time.
Margaret, enjoy your retirement, well deserved. Okay, so the junior year, CSAS takes all the juniors on a trip to visit colleges. What made an impact with you, Tim?
Well, I think the biggest thing about the junior trip wasn't necessarily about specific colleges or where you went. It was just seeing those different types of colleges, where you want a big state public school, where you want a small liberal arts private school, a school that was based on a religion or whatnot. So I think that was the most important thing to me, was just seeing what type of school you fit in, what type of community, a lot of people, small number of people. So
Tanner, did you go on some of these campuses? I know you visited Wofford, which
Yes.
is in South Carolina. Did you go on these campuses and say, wow, what a wonderful opportunity, but I understand my parents' needs, and I understand my family's needs and wants, and this just would not financially fit into the picture?
yes, that's definitely one of the big things, especially today. You see some of these great schools, and it's just, wow, look how nice everything is. And then you see why everything's that nice when you look at the tuition costs. And so some of those things you have to realize after we went on our senior boot camp the other day, as they were talking about, is sometimes a free education is the one that's going to help you in the long run with that, because it's hard to get out of those loans. So some of those schools that maybe look great on the outside and then have all that cost aren't going to be your best.
Well said. Tanner, you are so right. Jessica?
Yeah, for me, it was just, I think the experience, the fun times with friends, but on top of that, I really saw that visiting all of those colleges that I never kind of thought about, because I went to Chicago and Kentucky area, and going to University of Chicago, being exposed to schools like that, I would never consider a school
In a city that large?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I want to go to a school in DC, but I never considered Chicago at all, and so to see that,
Isn't it a great city?
yeah, it was awesome. In fact, we ran, I was part of the cross country team, and we got up early that morning and got to tour the school a little bit, running around. That was really nice. But yeah, so it exposed me to other schools, and that was great.
All right, Richie, we're going to get to that second question for you. So the senior project.
Well, considering I want to go into pharmacy, I'm going to focus my senior project on pharmacy, and I haven't come up with an essential question yet, but that's what I'm going towards.
Good. And what about the school? What was the school visit like for you?
I went on the same college trip as Jessica, and that was my first sort of exposure to college and just like stuff like that. So when I went there, it really opened my eyes. Like, I need to meet these requirements and start thinking about this.
And there's a great life out there.
Yeah.
That's great. What's your senior project, Jessica?
Mine is gonna be focused on a lot of chemicals and things like that in everyday products. I don't know exactly how I'll formulate it, but I'm just always interested in skin allergies and stuff.
Tanner?
Yes, I want to focus really on I'm interested in going to physical therapy and maybe doing something with how these injuries for athletes that you see are really working, starting up right now, and why they're so much more predominant now and happening more commonly for high school students.
It's called Be True to Your School. Our salute school tonight, CSAS, Jessica, Rucci, Tanner. Keep it up. We're back right after this. Who wanted Whitesnake? There, that's the teacher. Of course, Chris Hendricks wanted it.
There was only one.
This is shout out to the Third West Goonies. I guess these are teachers that teach in the Third West hallway, but these are teachers born in the 80s and 90s, and they love Whitney Houston. Okay, I got that out. Is that right? Did I do it right? All right. Hey, by the way, Gene Levin, thanks so much for producing the show tonight. It is always a pleasure working with you on Friday nights. All right, our salute school of the night is CSAS, and here is, ladies and gentlemen, the moral question of the night. This is a tough one. Here it goes.
Tonight's segment is brought to you by Choices Chattanooga. Choices exists to be a safe place in the community for women and men to come who are facing unplanned pregnancies. We offer free pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, and relationship advice. If you need to talk or to schedule an appointment, please call us at 423-267-7943. Your girlfriend keeps trying to initiate sex with you. You know that she's had a lot of sexual partners in the past, and you know that there's a chance that she might have an STD. You don't want to expose yourself to an STD, but you don't want to lose her either. What are you going to do?
Okay, that's our moral question of the night. Hey, it could be a boyfriend, it could be a girlfriend. So Tanner, it's not all on you tonight. All right, Tanner, it's a tough question, and once again,
Yeah, I got all the girls here pointing at
Pointing
me
at
saying,
you.
yeah, go for it.
all right, what do you got, Tanner?
Well,
No right or wrong answer here.
I guess, considering me personally and my morals, I have to say, despite the fact that there being an STD there or not, that'd just be something that I have to talk with my girlfriend about if she thinks that she's making the right decision or if this is the right decision for us. So, I'd have to have a conversation with her, and maybe we could come with a compromise there and make her see where I'm coming from, my perspective. So, the STT, there'd be nothing to worry about there after having that talk.
Tanner, you have a lot of thought to you, buddy. Great. All right, Jessica.
If I was in that situation from the beginning, though, even though he was forcing me to, I'd have to end it honestly, because morally for myself, I'm waiting till marriage, so it just wouldn't even be a question.
All right, Ruchi.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jessica. With my morals, it's just waiting until marriage. So, I mean, I wouldn't have to break it off. That's what I would have to do.
All right, great job. Hey, let's go ahead and get this caller, because we have one more question to ask. Alex, it's so good to have you on the show, and welcome. Hey,
How's it going?
good, Alex. What's going on?
Good. I was just calling to ask the three students. I'm actually a student at CSAS myself. And today with the Paideia Society induction, I was wondering